Great, Barack. Thanks. Good. So, hi, Princess Grayson. Thanks a lot. you might you might hear my voice cracking and breaking quite a bit today, but we're going to have a class nonetheless because this is the time we live in, huh? We can stay connected from anywhere safely and not spread anything around. So we learned something from the pandemic. Okay, I'm just reviewing my notes. And all right, so let's see how we're gonna do this. Yeah, we'll start in about a minute. I think I have everything teed up, and that's good. And then we'll begin. And let's see if anybody actually shows up from the global classroom itself. I don't know, but there might be some who would like to be in the classroom and with others, and they can connect via their laptops or phones. But other than that, I'm just going to make sure I can see everybody in terms of who's with us. Great. Okay. So Barack is in, Burhan is on board, Cindy is here, Ellen, Grayson, Maureen, great princess, and then Richie. Good. It's always good to have Richie in the class. How you doing, Richie, today?
I'm doing good. How are you, Prof?
I'm good. We were. I was hoping to have actually um, two of our classmates from uh, um, Africa today join. One from Nigeria, a professor of mathematics at Lauren University, not far from Lagos, who's starting a global leadership program at his university through the African Chamber of Commerce. We'll see if he drops in, and also Irene from Zambia in Lusaka in southern part of Africa. She has often joined, sometimes with her family. She's been a long time um, participant in global classes, but we'll see. It depends on the connection. And oh, good. Yeah, I see a face, an actual face. Good. Okay, we're just all gradually coming on board right now for the class. So let's just give people a little more time to connect. And I don't know how long my voice is going to hold out anyways for the class today. So it may be on the shorter side today. We might go for just 60 to 75 minutes, but we'll see, okay? Because there's some important content to cover, and I want to make sure that that's dealt with. And also, there are others who may be joining us from elsewhere in the world. It just depends, possibly from Bangladesh, um, in um, Dhaka, capital city there, as well. Pakistan, we may have Ash from last week. He's going to be doing a full class next week with us on empowerment. So he may pop in with some students from Pakistan. And then, of course, there's Mohammed, the professor of mathematics I mentioned from Nigeria, Lauren University, and Irene in Zambia, in Lusaka there. We'll see how things go. It's always a bit of an adventure when we have our classes in terms of the rest of the world. It depends on who can connect and who can't. But okay, let me just make sure I've got everything straight. And then, yeah, I think we can actually get going. Okay. So, of course, just so everyone's clear, I'm at home today, as you know. I'm down with the flu, getting better, but my voice is a little rough, as you'll hear. But we can still have a good class, and we are, as always, live on YouTube, um, as well on the Global Class channel. I see possibly that is Mohammed joining us from Lauren University in Nigeria. We will see. Just so you know, hi, Mohammed. Is that the Mohammed, our great friend, the professor of mathematics and director of the Global Leadership Program at Lauren University? Let's see. I'm at home today because I'm down with the flu. Well, we'll see how things go. With no, oh, that's a okay. That's another Mohammed. Hi, Mohammed. Good that you can join us. Anyways, so what we're going to do today, now that I've established that we have our connection, everything's good, the tech is working, and the general format I'd like to follow today is that we'll do a little review at the beginning just to get our minds back into the global class space. And we have our notes, Barak's good notes from last week, and I'll go to those in a moment and share those with you. And then I would like to just discuss some of the critical points around leadership and start to get into the weeds, if you will, start to get concrete and specific about leadership skills today. And then I would like to give us all a chance to discuss some of these skills. And hi, Ryan. Good. Ryan's with us. Oh, I see. Looks like Ryan. Ryan, are you in the? Yeah, Ryan's in the atrium. Good man. Yeah, great. So you're close. But you can go into. Can you, Ryan? You can go into the classroom. You know? Can you
go on there?
Is it open? It should be open if you want.
No, we can hear.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ryan. You should be able to go into the classroom.
Like online? Or...
Well, no, you're in now, but you can actually. Are you at the campus in the atrium outside? Yeah, we'll just walk right into the space. The road will go open the doors. Yeah. It should be. You can sit on the couches if you want. There. Can you not get into the room?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's open.
You're welcome to go in. Yeah, go ahead, and stay connected. Okay, good. So that's the idea: is maximum flexibility. We basically, in this class, we have a learning community, and that community consists of people coming in all sorts of ways. Come as you are, however you are, from wherever you are. So let's see, Ryan can come back from the global classroom, and we can be actually in this space with him. While he's getting in there, let's review, okay? Does anybody have anything they would like to bring to the class's attention or discuss right now? Please feel free before we get rolling with our review, and then we get into some of the critical points around leadership. We will not have a guest today. Starting next week, we will have the guests coming in for much of the class, beginning with Ash. He will be back next week to do his full class on empowerment. So we're going to essentially take today's class to really discuss and explore critical leadership skills that we will be touching on throughout the semester. So let's start first with the review, check in. Does anybody have anything they want to discuss right now? Please go ahead.
Lon, we're in the classroom. How do we get you up on the screen here?
Okay, you won't be able to do that today, Ryan, because of the fact I'm not there and without tech support. But you can sit there, you can stay connected on your device, whether it's your phone or laptop. You can be comfortable there. So feel free to stay there till noon. In fact, you can hang out there all day pretty well if you want, because I'll be teaching my Humanities Destiny class there from 1 to 3, but I'll be at home again. So the space is yours for the day if you want. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just like will go on mic with you like just over the device here instead
Yeah.
of like the microphones in the classroom then.
Yeah, just stay. We can't access the microphones in the classroom today, or get the video wall up and running, but you can stay in the space and stay connected through your phone and or your laptop and through your webcam. Okay. So that's good. That's the best we can do. But and if anybody else shows up with you, Ryan, and there's a group, then maybe we can get your webcam turned on and we can see all of you there, and you'll have a chance to interact together as well as with us. But anyways, as long as you're connected via audio, we're good. Okay. I think Barack has a question. Barack, please go ahead.
Yes, Professor Van. I just wondered that how are we going to get our marks? Maybe we discussed it this in first week, but I want to re-clarify for me.
Sure. Good question. And I'm going to have you write something down now, because I'm going to actually, I was planning to go through this later in the class, but I'm going to go through it right now with you, Barack, because it's absolutely relevant to today's class. I want to make sure you're set up for all of the reflections. So, Barack, if we were in the classroom right now and the smartboard were on, you would be writing this down on the smartboard. Okay. But for now,
I'm using my notepad.
Actually, you know what you can do is you can, as I talk about this, you can take notes in the live chat. Okay. For everybody. So,
okay.
So here we go. Okay. So Barack asks a good question, and I'm going to just bring myself in here full screen now, so you can see me as I explain this. All right. Here's how you're going to be assessed through the semester. Okay. You will be writing or making a video, and you will do 4 reflections. Okay. 4 reflections. This is critical. That's it. And there will be no exams, no tests, no quizzes. I've dispensed with those because I don't find them that useful in terms of really doing the deep thinking that's required in this course. So Barack, why don't you go ahead and write in the live chat right now 4 reflections. All right.
Well, I already taken my notes, and I'm just going to copy it and paste it whole, I think.
Oh, okay, great, excellent. Okay, so Barack is taking this down in his notes, and then he will copy and paste this after. But this is really important, everybody. So listen up, okay? Because I know you would all be wanting to know. You will have 4 reflections this semester, and I'm going to assign the first one today. Okay, so first reflection is worth 15%. The second reflection is worth 25%. The third reflection is worth 25%. And the fourth reflection is worth 35%. Okay, so that if you do the math, it should come out to 100%. So you will see how that breaks down. 4 reflections, 15%, 25%, 25, and 35. Now, in each of the reflections, you will be gradually writing longer and longer, to the point where in the final reflection at the end of the semester will be a major assignment in which you will have a choice to either write a 1,400 to 1,500 word researched paper, or you could make a video, or you could do a presentation. I've had students do some outstanding work in this class, including win some awards or get recognized. So everything is building towards that big final assignment worth 35%. And for example, the first assignment that I will assign today that will be due in 2 weeks, I think I've already posted the beginnings of it online. That will be do just on the Tuesday before February the 1st. So I think it's January the 30th. That will be a 450 to 500 word reflection. And that will be written. And everything will be posted on DC Connect. So you don't have to take this all down in detail. Just understand the basic overall plan for this. The first reflection, 450 to 500 words. Reflections 2 and 3 will be longer than that. And then reflection 4, of course, will be that big one, 1,400 to 1,500 words. And the idea, and again, this is really important that you understand all of this. And I'm glad Barak asked this early on in the class. I am not giving tests, exams, and quizzes because that's not where deep, critical, and creative thinking happens. It happens when you reflect, when you process information. So writing and being able to reflect either through the written word or producing a video or doing a presentation is a critical way of understanding the ideas and the content. And a good leader is the person at the top of something. And that person has to do a lot of thinking, a lot of reflecting. So your reflective abilities are going to become much more developed in this class. Now, before I continue, I just want to make sure everybody understands what I've just gone through. And Barak is putting this in his notes, and we'll cut and paste after into the live chat. But let's just review this for a second and make sure. What I've learned over the years with teaching is that if you don't understand and things aren't clear, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your money. So let's make sure you understand what I just said, okay? And why don't I go over to Jamie? Jamie, are you ready today to be in the hot seat? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, man. So what did you follow more or less the basic idea of what is expected in terms of the reflections assignments?
Yeah, so we're going to do, it's 4 assignments, no tests, no exams. 15, 25, 25, and 40%. And do them as a Word or as a like a Word document, like written or video. I'm gonna actually do the video. I kind of like doing videos.
Yeah,
somewhat. For the reflections, though, so what are we reflecting on? I was going to ask.
Sure. Good. Okay, so let's come down to what I'm going to be assigning today, which is the first reflection. So you know there are 4 reflections over the course of the semester. Okay, don't worry about the other 3 reflections, 2, 3, and 4 right now, because they will be reflection 2 isn't coming for another 2 or 3 weeks just before the winter break. So, and then reflection 4, Jamie, is right at the end of the semester. Okay, so reflection 1. Well, it will not be a video. It will be strictly written.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, strictly written. The only time you will have a choice, Jamie, on what medium you choose for the reflect will be the final reflection, the big one. You will have a choice on how you present that, whether it's a 8 to 10 minute video or a 1,400 to 1,500 word paper. There will be an assignment sheet with that and everything. And so for the first 3 reflections, they're all written.
Okay.
So reflection 1, for example, which will be assigned shortly. What I will ask you to do is think about the first 3 classes that we've had. Today is the 2nd. Next week will be the 3rd. We'll have a guest, Ash. And then after that, I'd like you to sit back and think about what really sticks with you. What is really what's really resonating with you from those first 3 classes, Jamie? And then I would ask you to explain that and reflect on that and explain why it resonates with you. And There will be no research required at that point, no work cited. It's essentially a personal reflection where you're explaining why this thing that is staying with you matters to you, and that's 450, 500 words. It will be out of 10, and the marking scheme you will see on DC Connect, but essentially, 9 out of 10 would be, or 10 out of 10 would be that you've really integrated the course material well into your reflection, that you reflected definitely on something that was in the classes that stayed with you. You're not talking about something else. You've definitely been in the classes, or you've watched the recordings and you've listened, and now here's what you have to say. So sometimes students will not write about the classes. They've got the recordings and they start writing about things. So they're trying to get through the semester without watching anything, the recordings, and it's obvious right at that point. So then, they won't do very well in terms of their marks. So the course material is really important, and that it's well written. The sentences are well written, and a lot of students I will see, Jamie, in that first assignment have trouble writing, or they don't care about the written words. So they'll be sent off to tutors to get help. So it's really, you're reflecting after those first 3 classes on something that really is important to you. Okay.
Well, I have a tendency to ramble myself. So in my writings, usually my problem is trying to condense everything down into the 3 to 5 pages that a professor might want.
Yeah.
Well, I did a career, what was it called? Action plan. And it was supposed to be 3 to 5 pages. And I had one of my professors look at it. And he's like, this is good. It's good. How long is it supposed to be? And I was like, 3 to 5 pages. Like, how many do you have? I'm like, 18.
Yeah, right. Sure. Well, let me just say, Jamie, that one of the things I'm really bullish about in this course is helping you to become a deeper thinker, more critical thinker, more creative. Less is more. And it's hard. It's kind of like when you're the coach, I wouldn't want to be the coach of the Leafs these days, or the Raptors. But anyways, when the coach or the general manager has to decide who starts, who's lining up at the center, the wings, defense, who's in the goal. You've got many players, but you have to make a selection. When you have to select, that's where the real thinking happens, Jamie. It's easy to do a lot. It's hard to do a little, because you've got to choose. You've got to choose. So I'm gonna push you to, hit the word count. I'll give you some wiggle room. If you're coming in at let's say I'm asking for 450 to 500 words, and you're coming in at 550. Okay, I'll give you that wiggle room. But if you go over into 700, 800, you're gonna start to feel the pain, in your mark. Okay, and the reason, Jamie, is because you're not focused. You got to get that. And if there's anything else you want to discuss where you have trouble with this, we can talk privately. But for everybody, please keep in mind that less is more. Okay.
Right. Keep it condensed.
Yeah, absolutely.
To the point.
Yeah. It's hard. And I'd like to put everybody on notice too, that I care a lot about good writing. I had a long career as journalist and producer and director and executive producer, and leading a production company with partners, and so I understand leadership, but I also understand ultimately, because I have a deep respect for the written word, you must pay attention to your sentences. And if your writing is not as good as it can be, I will get you the help you need. So let's make sure everybody's clear on this and about what's expected of them. Okay, Jamie, thanks for taking the hot seat. You're gonna give me more. And I also want to give Mayreen a chance to explain a little bit more about the World Expo and some of the plans we have as well. She's joining us. But let's see who else is here. And I'm going to just go over here and take a look. Okay, so we have Richie, we have Princess, we have Mohammed, Good Marine, Grayson, Ellen, Cindy, Burhan, Jazeel. Oh, Jazeel is a name I haven't recognized. Hi, Jazeel. How you doing? Oh, that's Jazeel. Okay, Jazeel and Ryan. Great. Okay, guys.
Sorry, we were together.
Great. Okay. Actually, in terms of assignments, Ryan was in a previous class of mine. It was Ryan. Was it Short History of the World or Humanity's Destiny? I can't remember.
Short history.
Short History. Okay. Can you explain a little bit about how the process worked for you in terms of writing and reflecting in the assignments? Did you find it helpful to be able to be reflecting more deeply about the content?
Well, I could say like for sure I appreciated like the way it's kind of like kind of the guidelines around like what you can do. So like I appreciated the idea that you're kind of able to write on anything that you find interesting from class, because something that sticks out to one person is not going to relate the same way to somebody else.
Yeah.
But like I feel like what really matters is, are you able to connect your own personal philosophy or whatever you particularly found interesting with what we learned in class. Like, and for me, like I wasn't concerned as much with, I guess, maybe writing tailored to exactly what we talked about from class, but as long as you can relate it back in some way that's meaningful or illustrating some kind of deeper insight, I feel like that was the main thing I was kind of after as like I wrote. So
yeah, that's great, and I'm glad you mentioned, Ryan, philosophy, personal philosophy. Jamie, in choosing something that resonates with you in the classes, you're developing your own kind of vision, if you will, of leadership or of the topic. And there are things I'm teaching that I want everyone to understand. But at the end of the day, everybody's a little bit different, and you need to have a chance to choose and reflect on the things that matter to you. And also, it needs to be said that one of the critical qualities of a good leader is developing a vision about something. You are the person, the position of leadership, who needs to be able to see into the future and have the courage to take others there with you. So you need the imagination. That's vision. You need the courage and you need the perseverance. But Ryan's right philosophy is it's about, philosophy is about how you look at the world, how you look at reality, and that's about vision. So everybody should really remember this particular point. A good leader is the one who has the vision. Okay. And that's something maybe all of you haven't given much thought to, or maybe you have, but you're going to give a lot of thought to that over the next few weeks.
well, I just wanted to toss in like one more thing, Lon. While
Sure, go ahead, Ryan. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that process of like writing that way was, I don't know, it was very helpful for me because like I feel like as we go through like the class and like we have discussions where we collaborate together and stuff like that, it sparks more like deeper thinking like within yourself. So like even if you don't directly learn something from like like a fact that you didn't know in class, like it might provoke you to like start thinking like in a different light of things, so like see things from almost like a different angle or different dimension
Yeah.
than before. So I don't know. I like that like kind of deeper piece was like helpful to like my writing because I feel like
Excellent.
like this talk with like another teacher who I had for one of my gen eds last semester, how like some people just like write what they feel the teacher would want to read, but
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
not writing what they actually like feel is actually um, like personal to them. So you're not writing as yourself, you're writing as somebody that you're like trying to project to be, you know?
yeah. Good, good. Excellent, Ryan. And just let me just reiterate as well before we get to Brock's. Great, Brock's put his good notes in the live chat. There are things I want you to know, things I'm teaching, but at the end of the day, you have to be able to process it through your own unique way of thinking, and that's really important. So, um, you know, Ryan has explained it well. Okay, before we get to Barak's notes, because I want to make sure this is all understood, I just want to come to Mayreen because she's joining us from work, I believe, and Mayreen is our at the moment volunteer coordinator, who is also responsible for large part of the planning that we're doing for our big World Expo presence in 2025, where we're going to present the global classroom to the world. And hi, Mayreen, thanks for joining us.
Hello, Lon. Hi, everybody. Can everyone hear me clearly?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I think we have Mohammed now joining us from Lauren University in Nigeria. We'll get in a moment. We'll come to you, Mohammed. Hold on. I'm just down with the flu today, so I'm at home. Mayreen, can you maybe just give the class a little bit of an update on where things stand with the planning for Expo, and whether you think there might be any students who could assist you possibly with the planning. I might be able to design with them some sort of final assignment in Global Leader around their assistance with your direction. So how are things going?
So things are going good. Everyone's gearing up for the World Expo, which is now happening next year in 2025. It will start April and conclude in October of next year. And so last year in December there was a deadline that Lon and I were working on, and Lon submitted something called an event proposal that we were working on prior to that deadline. And we did manage to submit a proposal and a presentation on who we are and what kind of event we want to host with the global class and at the World Expo. And then now we are gearing towards something called the Team 2025 Expo program, which we would like to register ourselves as the global class and under something called co-creation partner, where we can team up for different co-creation challenges and essentially try to achieve the UN based sustainable development goals that they're hoping to achieve by 2030.
Yes.
So we are working towards that. The deadline is the end of March this year. So we're working towards it, and we would really appreciate any student who feels like this will be something they're passionate about or even want to be a part of, because we're hoping with the World Expo, because it is such a big platform, to reach like people around the world and achieve our goal of quality education for anybody who wants it.
That's right. Great, Mayreen. As someone has said about the global classroom, we are creating the new classroom for humanity. We're creating out of Durham College with amazing students and others. And, let me just bring back this from last week. There's our amazing classroom, right? That's where we will be next week when we're back. And I can speak properly. So please keep in mind that if anyone would like to be involved with Mayreen in this plan for the World Expo and our presentation, you're welcome to get more involved and even design your final assignment around this. Okay, so before we move on to Barak's notes and also Mohammed, any questions? Anybody want to address anything at this point, please?
Lon, I want to ask something.
Sure.
Was this kind of related to what we talked about with the Japan thing and stuff like that, or is this?
Yes, this is Ryan. It's going to be taking place in Japan, in
Okay.
Osaka, Japan. Yeah.
Okay. So, like, how would you kind of get organized if you wanted to, like, kind of be involved in this, maybe?
Just shoot me an email. And actually, Mayreen, could you put the global class email in the live chat right now? And Ryan, just email us at the global class email, because our president, whom all of you are going to meet in one of our classes, global classes, we will be co-hosting together. He would like 2 or maybe 3 students from Durham College to be with me and Mayreen in Japan presenting. So there's a lot of opportunities, guys, here. This is not a small thing that we're going to be doing. So Mayreen, yeah, go ahead and put the global class email in the live chat, and we're going to come back. But good, Ryan, good question. I just want to welcome Mohammed from Nigeria and from Lauren University. Can you hear me, Mohammed? Let's see. There he is. I'm not sure. Hi, Mohammed. Let me just, this is Dr. Ibrahim. Oh, okay. Hold on a second. Since this is a global class, I'm going to do this. He's calling me on WhatsApp. Just a second. Watch this. Hello, Mohammed. Just a second. Just a second. Okay, so there he is. He's talking now, but I'm trying to get him on WhatsApp. Okay, this is fun. Just a moment. This is like an old style global class when we have tech issues. Okay, Mohammed, Dr. Ibrahim is joining us from. Unmute your microphone. Go ahead.
Hello.
There we go.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Great.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Dr. Ibrahim.
Yeah, joining from Nigeria.
Lovely.
Yes, I'm Mohammed Olarwaju Ibrahim, Department of Mathematics, University of Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria.
Excellent. Dr. Ibrahim, is it okay if I call you Mohammed?
Yes, Mohammed is that's my first name.
Okay, I just out of respect, you know, we're now with all the students, so you may prefer Dr. Ibrahim, but is Mohammed is okay, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'd like to introduce everybody to a longtime friend and partner of the global class, wonderful gentleman, Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim from the Lauren University in Nigeria, professor of mathematics, as well as the recently chosen director of the Global Leadership Program through the African Chamber of Commerce. And Mohammed, I'm sick at home today, so that's why we're not in the global.
I can see that. Because your voice is not the voice that I used to know.
That's right. That's where we should be. But anyways, let me come back. Mohammed, could you explain a little bit about the Global Leadership Program that you are now in charge of? Please go ahead.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The essence of us having a global entrepreneurship is to train future leaders across the globe. So right now the thing is on net. Once they just type Africa CC US, they will see the thing there. We have about 4 programs for this year, starting August, September, October, November, and everybody is invited. Leon is one of the speakers, and is also one of the Global Advisory Council.
Yes.
So we have other speakers, 2 from America, 1 from London, and myself from Nigeria.
Excellent, excellent. And can you tell me more about the African Chamber of Commerce and their role in this organization? Please go ahead.
What? I can't hear you.
Yes. Could you please explain what is the role of the African Chamber of Commerce in this project?
Oh, yes. The role of African Chamber of Commerce based in USA. When you talk about anything that has to do with entrepreneurship, that has to do with Africans in particular, why do we refer to the African as the giant, especially in Nigeria? There is future in Africa because of our population. And if we are able to train future leaders, then it means sky is the beginning. There is need for us to train as many people as possible, not only Africans, but throughout the globe. That means throughout the world. We want to focus more on practical, because everywhere now, any country you go to, you hardly get what they call white collar job.
Yeah.
So we need to lay emphasis more on practical approach.
Yes.
So that people can sit at home and still be earning money.
Yes, absolutely. I'd like to stay on this for a moment, Mohammed, and then we will move on. It's very important for all the students to understand that in this course called Global Leader, there are 2 critical things that you're learning. First, there's the global part, how to think planet-wide, how to be a global citizen in the world today. We have an enormous opportunity in the world today to become a more connected and more responsible and more empathetic generation. There's a new sense of connectedness and responsibility and empathy that's coming. So for everybody, being able to think more globally is important. But then there's the leadership aspect. And as Mohammed says to all of you, there are practical things that we need to understand. And in Global Leader, this course, I like to think that all of you are getting diverse perspectives from around the world on leadership. So my question would be for Mohammed right now. Mohammed, just very briefly, we can always come back to this in future classes. Is there a particular specific approach that Nigerians bring to leadership that could help us in Canada, or a white person, let's say, I'm white, you're black, I'm just, I'm Jewish and you're Muslim, for example, you have a different approach. Are there things that we can learn from each other about leadership, specifically from the Nigerian perspective?
Oh, yes. Are you talking in time of culture?
No.
Or you are talking in time of religion?
Leadership. I'm talking.
Very good.
Yes, leadership.
You see, in leadership.
Yes.
In leadership, Nigeria were blessed with so many solid mineral resources. And I can bet it with you that your country will benefit a lot. That is one of the key topics that I'll be discussing. The availability of solid minerals in Nigeria. Let me pick one, for example.
Yes.
Lithium. We are all using phone now, and we know the usefulness of lithium.
Yeah.
We have about 6 states out of 36 states in Nigeria that are blessed with lithium. And I can bet it with you that mineral resources alone is enough to generate the total budget for Nigeria. And we are looking for investors.
Sure.
That is one. Two, Nigeria, again, we have about 10 states that are blessed with raw gold, G-O-L-D,
Yes.
that people can tap. And then we have in abundance. So Nigeria is blessed with over 100 solid mineral resources. That is one aspect. And we want to train future leaders there.
Yes.
Two, steel, iron and steel. We are blessed with Ajakuta. Its line value for the past 50 years. There is nothing that stops Nigeria not having our own made in Nigerian car. Are you following?
Yes. Keep going. Yep.
The aspect of human and material resources, most of our graduates, be it medical doctors, nurses, engineers, they used to do what we call looking for greener pasture outside the country. But it's high time for us to encourage them now to come down home and invest so that our future leaders will be able to be rest assured. Are you following?
Yeah.
I have so many of my friends in America, in Europe, even some in your Canada, that are doing quite well. Doctors, engineers, nurses, lecturers.
Yes.
So it's high time for us to now think how we can be able to harness and bring everybody back home so that we can invest on our younger generation, because these are the future leaders.
Well, it's very,
and that has to do with what we call leadership, training people for leader.
yeah. I want to remind the students, Mohammed, I'm just going to stop you for a second. I'm going to stop you for a second because there's something here that's very important for the students to understand in terms of leadership that we are going to be exploring. Somebody has their speaker. Do you want to mute? Mohammed, mute? Yeah.
Yes.
Go ahead. Mute. Turn
what
off
did you say?
Your speaker, your microphone. Turn off your microphone. Mute your microphone. Just so there's a,
okay. Can you hear me now?
No. Turn off your microphone because it's reverberating. I think I can do it myself. Hold on. Just a second. Mute. There we go. I muted him for the moment. Mohammed, I had to mute you just because of you. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody's reverberating, but I'll bring this back on. Just a second. There we go. Oh, I don't want to mute everyone else. Okay. Jamie, can you hear me? Okay, but I think I muted it.
I can hear you.
Okay.
But I still get the reverberation.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's stopped now. Good. Okay. I'd like all of you to be aware that Mohammed has just said something important about leadership that may not be clear, and we're going to be looking at this next week. He talked about having people properly trained in leadership to come home to Nigeria and lead there. Now, next week, Ashfaq in Pakistan is going to speak to exactly this. Ashfaq, Ash, as you met last week, he is from Pakistan, but he went to Europe. He went to the Budapest Business School and got his degree in economics. And now he's returned to Pakistan to begin community initiatives to help develop the industries there, to improve education. And here's something I want you to think about, okay, when it comes to leadership. Today, no matter where you're from, you have a great opportunity to travel and move around. And I'm going to single out for the moment Richie. because I know Richie and Richie from Kenya, who comes to Canada and he's getting an education and he understands about leadership. And well, Richie may have to make a decision at some point. Is Richie going to stay in Canada after his education, or will he return to Kenya and will he work there? And Jamie may have to make a decision too. Does Jamie stay in Canada? Ryan, if let's say Ryan joins our presentation in Japan, and he may decide he wants to stay in Japan and develop there. So where are you going to apply your leadership skills? Will you go home? Will you go abroad? These are big questions. And Mohammed has touched on that. But Richie, do you understand this sort of question a little bit? Go ahead.
Absolutely. It's one of those questions that you can't get out of your mind every day. Every day that I've been here in Canada, that's the question I've been asking myself.
You do.
Whether to stay in Canada or go back home.
Yeah.
But what Mr. Professor Mohammed was saying is so
Yes.
true. There's a ton of potential back home. And the reality is this, especially for the Kenyans back home, they don't trust the leadership. They don't trust the leadership enough because the leadership has failed more often than not. So they, because of that, they're rather people like the Kenyan diaspora or African diaspora would rather go invest their resources and time elsewhere. But in the presence of strong leadership, you find many Africans going back to the home country.
Yes.
Yeah, and I would hope that will happen for my country as well. But at the moment, it's really terrible. But yeah, it's a really good point. Really good point. Yeah.
Well, thanks, Richie. We'll come back, and I'm going to go to Jazeel right now because I see Jazeel's hand is raised. But Richie, give some thought to a little bit about the ideas. Are there particular skills, Kenyan, a sort of a Kenyan perspective on leadership that you think we should be thinking about? I have some points I want to make shortly about leadership that are very concrete, but there might be some specific approaches. And let's remember, everybody, that the former president of the United States of America, the first Black president, came from Richie's country. His father, Barack Obama's father, was Kenyan. Barack Obama was, so
Sure.
Anyways, Richie, think about it. We'll come back. Jazeel, go ahead. What's your question?
Prof, it's nothing important. It's just that, is it possible to join the team to Japan or the Osaka?
Absolutely. You just have to email Mayreen. You see the email in the live chat?
Yes.
Send her an email, and she and I will discuss this. And you're going to meet the president of the college in our class in February. You can discuss it with him.
Is there any requirement I need to meet to join?
We're working on that right now, so it's early on, Jazeel. So just let us know, and very possibly we could design for you this semester a final assignment that is built around Expo. Okay, so
Thank you.
For sure. Okay, good. I'd like to make sure that we have a chance to review Barack's notes. I'm going to wait for a little bit, and then we'll come back to that, and we'll end with that. But your notes are becoming more and more important this semester, and that's good. Does anybody have any questions at this point around what has been said so far by Dr. Mohammed Ibrahim in Nigeria, Richie with us from Kenya here in Oshawa, Jamie, any questions about what they've said? Cindy, Burhan, Grayson, anything that you'd like to bring to the class? Go ahead.
Yes, it's about the Abraham said that there are several mineral resources, and in a sense, the people who are studying abroad, the Nigerians who are studying abroad, will return with their professional skills to work and their investments in Nigeria, right? In a sense,
Yes, that absolutely. That's what he's saying.
yeah. But the climatic situation and the way the both are different in their management system, the Nigeria and in Canada, US, does it able to be applicable, or does it
Yeah.
would it be helpful?
Yeah.
Because both are completely different systems, might be
Yeah.
different, and the way of thinking is completely different.
Excellent question. And very much about the global world we live in, Jazeel, because, just because you learn in Canada, for example, at Durham College, or you learn from me or others about leadership, there may be things in, let's say, Nigeria or elsewhere in the world that are different. We have to understand. So, Mohammed, did you follow what Jazeel just said in terms of his question? Let's see. There may be, I know, sometimes a connection issue there. Okay, well then we can always deal with that later. But let's try and address this through Richie right now, okay? And what Jazeel has brought up, and we can. Richie, what do you think about Jazeel's question?
It's a good question. Because like the economy is just completely different from if you were to compare it with Canada, it's a completely different economy. But yeah, and there's also a lot of cultural differences as well. The way you'd earn money in Canada is different the way you'd earn money in Nigeria or Kenya.
Yeah.
You're right, but that doesn't mean that things can't change. And knowing people back home, they're always looking for change. Like if you offer a good idea or opportunity, they'll take it because there is not much going on.
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Hmm.
if they don't try something new. There's just that endless cycle of always fighting for against poverty or trying to survive the
Yeah.
current state you are, and everyone is just looking for stability. The main issue, the main thing about that people have to understand with Africa, the economy is heavily linked to the political climate. So
Mm.
whenever you get a strong leader in charge, uh, you find the economy ends up, having stability. But when you have, like populist figures or dictators,
Exactly.
that economy is extremely unstable because at one point they're struggling with something, and then the next something else, and it's all to do with the actions of the leadership. The good example was of this is Uganda. Um, they recently enacted strong anti-LGBTQ laws in the country, and that ended up with them losing a lot of uh, trade agreements or trade frameworks
Opportunities.
yeah,
Opportunities. Yeah.
opportunities, yeah, with the
Opportunities.
United States.
Yeah.
And for the ordinary Ugandan, they don't care whether those laws are enacted or not. They just want to find a stable employment or a stable
Sure.
or like stable growth in their lives. So it's a good point, but I don't think that should stop people going back home.
I think the takeaway from that, Jazeel, from what Richie just said is, first you have to understand the place you're going to when you are going to another country to be involved in some position of leadership. That means understand the politics, understand society. Now, I'd actually like to take this moment to do what I said I would be doing in the classes we have this semester, and I will stop and sometimes give a sort of on the spot lecture. Okay, so this is the part where if we were in a normal class, you know, I would stand in front of the PowerPoint and give you the content, but we do it out of the conversation. We do it in a more dynamic way. There are some things I want to tell you about in terms of specific concrete points about leadership today that are important, and I'm going to tell you now. And I may refer to Barak's notes in the live chat. That's great, Barak. I see you put in some more thoughts there about vision, and that's good. But first, let me just say that we need to talk about what are some of the critical qualities of leadership, wherever you may find yourselves in the world today. We might even call these the sort of kind of non-negotiable human qualities, okay? And it doesn't matter where you are going to be leading, whether it's in Oshawa, whether it's in Canada, whether you go to Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, Japan, we're all human beings, right? I think we can agree on that. And there's certain qualities around leading when it comes to being a human, where you're working with other human beings and you're the one sort of in charge, and you need to be aware of certain things. And number one is, as I mentioned, the vision, right? And if you are starting something, your own project or your own organization or your own initiative, it's vital that you have the imagination to be able to see what the future you would like to be, because that's where you're taking everybody. So it's often said that a good leader is always 2 or 3 beats ahead of everybody else. You're the one who's ahead thinking. And our president, for example, Don Levisa, who's been an excellent president at our college and is retiring this year, you know, he has always been thinking 5 years ahead, 7 years ahead. So you have to be able to think ahead, and that's where the vision is, okay? I don't care wherever you go in the world, that's a critical quality of leadership. The leader or the leaders are the ones who have the vision to think ahead. The next thing that's really important is you have to be able to motivate others. Motivation is really important. People are not going to want to work with you or work for you unless they care about that vision. And the way you will get the best out of people who are working with you is not to scare them. It's not to bully them. It's not to order them around. That's going to only create resentment and anger. And I'm speaking from experience now, having led a production company. You want to inspire. You want to give people a sense of being a stakeholder in what you're doing. They have to be part of it, and they have to be respected and cared, and then they will contribute and they will come with you. So motivation is very, very important. How you motivate others. How do you organize yourself? How do you set an agenda? How do you create a timetable? People have to be moving in a plan with a structure towards goals. You have to be able to organize that. So you have to be very organized. And most importantly, I would say, and I will steal this idea from a great director in Hollywood named Steven Spielberg, one of the great Hollywood directors, of E.T., for example, Jaws, one of the longtime directors. He has said that directing a big movie, 80% of it is communication. It's communication. You have to be able to communicate to the people around you. And you don't have to be a communicator like everybody else. You have to communicate in your own way, but people have to understand what you want. And you have to be able to do that through the words you use, whether you write, whether you talk. These are all very important human qualities. You know, the vision, the motivation, the organization, the communication. And so I'd like you to think about those points right now before we look at Barak's notes. And my voice is starting to, I don't know how much longer my voice is going to go for here, but I want to make sure you understand these critical points of leadership. We're going to be drilling down on these points through the semester with different guests who've demonstrated global leadership in certain ways, from whether it's in areas of democracy and government, or whether it's in the area of volunteering or empowerment or mental health or medicine or science or technology or business. You know, all of these things are important, but let's understand the human qualities here. We're human beings, and we lead other human beings. So vision, you know, motivation, communication, organization. Okay. Would anyone like to address those now? And does anyone have a question or a comment about what I've just given a tiny little lecture about? Now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to challenge you. A leader has courage.
Lon,
Go ahead. Good.
sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
I was just gonna ask, like, when you were talking about like vision, I guess, how do you explain or put in words, like, I guess, to communicate your vision to somebody else? Because obviously they're gonna see it from like their perspective, right? They're not gonna see it exactly the way that you like illustrate
Sure.
it, right? So, and they're gonna find their own meaning in what it means to them and why they should like get behind your idea or whatever. So I guess what I'm asking is, like, how do you kind of communicate that to others, that, you know, there is something there that is
Sure. Great question, Ryan. We're really talking about something so bang on topic now about leadership that all of you, I hope, will be thinking about, is how do you communicate or express a vision to others? Well, let's work this through a little bit. Okay, let's drill down on this for a second. I'm going to ask Ryan right now a question to help us understand. Ryan, is there something that you would like to start? A project, an initiative, something that you would like to start that will involve creating a team of people whom you will lead or you will work with? Is there anything you would like to do that doesn't involve just you, but involves others and involves some sort of initiative?
I feel like there is. Like, I feel like like, I want to foster like environments that where people can feel free to discuss things about like theology and their belief system and their personal philosophy and how they see the world. Because I think looking into those things really generates a reflective image as who you are as a human being and how you go about understanding things and your mentality towards how you go about doing things, like before you even, I guess, like accomplish a task in full, like the tiny little ways like you see it, like through your perspective that leads you
Yes.
to execute it a certain way. So
Okay. Well, let's stop for a second, and I'm going to ask everybody right now. Do you think Ryan has a vision for something, forget about what you want at this point, Ryan, in terms of communicating and everything. I just want to start with, does Ryan have an idea of something he wants to do? Could somebody, let's say, I can go to somebody to try and answer, but let's see if anyone jumps in. Jamie, go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like he has an idea. Whether or not it's a concrete one or not, he has the idea that he wants. So it's just a matter of figuring out a pathway to get to it, I suppose. Because we all have the feelings of what we would like to see in our world, whether it's political change, environmental change. Some of them are conflicting, obviously, especially with political change.
Yeah.
I'm a very left-leaning person, so I believe in government, or at least I like to believe in government. I don't necessarily believe in the governments that we have. Not that I'm a conspiracy theorist, I don't mean that way.
Yeah.
I just like, for like environmental change, I feel like the only reason that they're like, how to explain it? I feel like the only initiatives that are taking place are ones that can make money, which I don't feel is a way to go about it. It's sort of until a corporation can figure out how to charge you for clean air, they won't do anything about it. The plastic industry, or not plastic industry, but there's sort of a thing out there where the recycling of plastic has been shifted to the consumer rather than from the corporation. They're the ones who are putting out all these plastics, and they've put the onus on us to do something about it, but they themselves aren't willing to do anything about it at all.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's come back to Ryan's vision. And great, Jamie, and thanks for taking the initiative. You felt, Jamie, that Ryan has a vision of something. Let's go around for a second and just see if others feel that way. Princess, are you still on board the global class?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. So, Princess, did you feel Ryan has a vision for something he'd like to do?
Well, yeah. I mean, he has an idea of what he wants to do, but it's not very concrete, but that can be worked on.
Good. Okay. And it's important that it be concrete, right?
Yeah.
And there's no way you would want to join Ryan in his initiative unless you're clear on exactly what he wants, right?
Yeah, so that I will also like have a vision, so I know where I'm going to for like the direction.
Lovely. Thank you, Princess. So, Princess, how could Ryan strengthen his vision, make it more clear? What would you recommend to him?
First of all, I'll say I understand where the idea is coming from, but I don't think you can do something like that alone. I feel like you should have someone else who shares the same passion and vision with you, because that will go a long way. Because if you're trying to do it alone, you're trying to convince a whole lot of people that you might not even know, because you also have to build connection. So I think that's where I'll start from. Get someone that shares the same vision. You can start working on, like, you can start building with what you have with the other person.
Yeah, you got it. Very wise, Princess.
Thank
You know, it's often, said that really good initiatives require really good partnerships. And nobody works in a vacuum. Nobody works alone. It doesn't matter how much you say that you are the most important person. In the end, it depends on your team. The leader is the one who may be moving people towards that vision. But if all those others are not going with him, or he doesn't have, or she doesn't have a partner or partners to collaborate with, it's going to be very difficult, and probably your initiative will remain small. But if you want to get bigger, you want to have more impact, get some partners. You know, two minds are better than one. And so Ryan, maybe you want to think about what Jamie and Princess have said so far, and particularly Princess, and that your vision right now is sort of there, but maybe you need some partners to help you with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's like very valuable insight. I feel like I kind of struggle to maybe like find people like, or kind of like that devoted to kind of like invest in an idea like that, because I don't know, when you start talking about things where you know, you want to create a like platform which can be a, I guess, a medium for people to network on, or on these like various topics and like discuss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like a good idea, but like to build a foundation for that, like, you know, a lot of people
Yeah.
don't help do that front. So
Yeah.
like usually you're kind of by yourself, like trying to set the stepping stones. But you know, I feel like that's very invaluable advice to include like other people and stuff like that.
Exactly. So think about who your partners might be, because they may help you, you know, and it's an excellent point, Princess. And I oh yeah, Ajoy, look, excellent. Ajoy has dropped in. Ajoy is in Dhaka in Bangladesh. And let me just bring you the map of the world, okay, everybody, so I can give you a little bit of orientation right now. And then I'm going to let Ajoy speak. So here comes the map, and you should see it very shortly. You should now see the map. Richie, can you give me a thumb up? Can you see the map of the world? You see it? Full screen? You see it full screen? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. So let me just show all of you where Ajoy is right now. You see my arrow, my big arrow. It's on the North Atlantic Ocean here. Okay, so I'm moving east, and I'm going all the way across Iran, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, and there's Bangladesh, tiny, tiny country in the Northeast, and one of the smallest countries with one of the biggest populations in the world. Incredible place. Hi, Ajoy, how you doing? From Dhaka. Go ahead.
Hi, Professor. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, according to your time. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see you all in a new class. Welcome to the global class again. Well, I'm Ajoy. I'm working as a global coordinator in the GC team, and right now I'm staying at Dhaka to fulfilling my graduation, and I'm also a master's candidate in the several places in the world. So. Um, Yeah, it looks nice that this again starts the new semester, and I'm more curious. Sorry, I come late, so I'm more curious to know about this semester topics about the global class, and
Yes.
Also I'm look forward to see some further development, and also we are, and all of the guys trying to let you know that we are planning some big for the future, especially next 2 years, next year we'll have some big events. So
Yes.
I wish to all to stay with us and make this global class initiative, our aspiration makes it dreams comes true. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Joy, you know, I want to remind everybody about Princess's point about, you know, partners. Ajoy has been a terrific partner over the years in the development of the global class and the guests that he's brought. And, you know, we would not be able to create this kind of new educational space, this learning community that we have, without the people that have worked together on with me and others. And so, for example, when we go to Japan in 2025 to present this, imagine how strong we will be, everyone, if, I'll be there with Mayreen, and hopefully Ajoy can join us, and there will be students from Durham College as well in Japan presenting. If it were just me there, that's one thing, but think of the power of this initiative, the Global Classroom, when you start to look at the different partners who are part of it and how much stronger, more interesting it gets when we have Ajoy and Mayreen and others. So I will continue to remind all of you of this very important point that Princess has brought up today around partnerships. Develop good partnerships and your dream will grow. Guaranteed. I've seen it again and again in my own life. Ajoy, today we're just, because I'm sick, I'm down with the flu, I'm at home and my voice is a little weak, so we're going to probably end in about 5 or 10 minutes. Is there anything else you would like to say today, particularly about one thing I would ask you? We're talking today about critical human qualities around good leadership. Things like vision, things like communication, things like teamwork and collaboration, motivation of others. Is there anything from your Eastern or Bangladeshi perspective that you think we should be thinking about in terms of good leadership that Bangladesh brings to this idea of good human leadership? What do you think, Ajoy?
Well, all the points are logical related to develop as a as a as a leader. Okay, the leadership school of is a part of the School of Business. You can see the School of Development Studies. But also another things I must need to share you that the cross-cultural competence, the cross-cultural intelligence is much important in this 21st century to becoming a good leader.
Yeah.
Because now you are not a person from the USA, Canada, Australia, China, where you are. It's a global. The market is global, the competition is global, and the thinking is global. Okay, so this is highly important. Even I'm just giving example. Even those countries who are not democratic, even the Russia, China, they are developing a lot to making this intercultural understanding. They're investing more. Even Middle East, you saw this very nice the Meherin and like Madiha, and we have beautiful example. So this is highly we need to understand. Okay, this as we are when we're talking about the diversity, when we're talking about the multiculturalism, okay, in the world. So this part is important. So this is one thing, and another things I need to share you according to our global class things. I will try my level best this year. Hope this semester will be. I will try, as last time I said you, I will try to write to Mr. Professor Yuval Noah Harari.
Oh,
History of
yeah.
Humankind. Yes,
Absolutely.
So this is one of my this kind of agenda to make sure to invite him in our class and to talk more the empathy and climate change and leaderships and more. Let's see.
That's great. Just let me ask everybody, does anybody know who Yuval Noah Harari is? The author? Ajoy certainly does, and he makes some great points right now. I highly recommend, if you want to read a very important global thinker today on, the future of humanity, not necessarily about leadership, but it's even bigger than that. It's about what it means to be a human being in the 21st century, the third millennium, and how you deal with this. You need to be reading a book called Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari.
Yeah,
Homo Sapiens and Sapiens, exactly. But Ajoy always brings good ideas to the class. He talks about cross-cultural literacy or competence. Well, look at what we're learning from Ajoy right now. Here is a young man sitting in his home in Dhaka, Bangladesh at night, telling us about an important author to read, and we're learning from him. This is a absolute perfect example of cross-cultural learning that good leaders do. We listen to each other, and so I'm going to have to conclude in a moment because my voice is just about. I have another class at 1:00 I have to save, but before I go to Barack's notes and what's in the live chat, and we're going to conclude there, is there anything anyone would like to say before we begin to conclude the class?
It's about the expo. The expo is happening in 2025.
Yes.
Like, is it on the fourth semester, or like on the winter semester?
Well, Jazeel, I'm going to throw this back at you and say it's time for you to do some research, and you need to get on the World Expo website, and I'll help you. Is Mayreen still there? She may have gone back to work. Okay, so
Hi, Lon, I'm still there.
Oh, are you? Okay, great. Could you, Mayreen, could you put the link for Jazeel for the, should he be going to the expo site? He wants to, he has some good questions, but I think it's time for him to do some of his own work and learn about the expo. So where should he go?
He could go to the World Expo website to know more about the expo that's happening next year. But if he just wants to know more about World Expos in general, that will be the BIE organization that does the World Expos.
Put a couple of links in the live chat for him, okay? And
sure.
Then Jazeel, you can do some homework, and we'll talk about it next week, okay, Jazeel? But that's you can get going on that. Good questions. Anybody else before we get to the live chat and conclude?
I was just gonna ask Lon, would I be able to get maybe some of those links in an email? Like if I emailed Maureen, could I get her to send me those?
I don't see why not.
Okay.
Just email Ryan to keep things organized. Mayreen, I think the best thing would be to go through the global class email, right? So Ryan should email you at the global class.
Oh, shoot.
He left.
So Ryan, in the live chat, you'll see it if you scroll up. There it is. I'm there now. You see it. The Mayreen already put in the live chat the global class email. Just send her, send her an email there, and she'll help you, okay? And we'll talk more about that. By the way, just the fact that you're all like Jazeel is, and Ryan is, and Jamie and others, you're showing initiative. You're getting involved. That's what leaders do. You know what leaders really do well? They seize opportunities. So I will leave you with that one final thought, and then I'm going to go to the live chat and we'll conclude. We talked about vision, and we talk about motivation, and teamwork, and communication, and structure, and agendas, and timetables, and all these things that leaders have to know. But start thinking about opportunities. Start looking at the world around you, not as a world of problems and depressing things and conflict and overwhelming things. Yes, if you want that pessimistic, defeatist approach, go ahead and watch what will happen to you in life. You'll be left behind. But if you want, you can look at everything around you as a potential opportunity and use your creativity and your courage and your perseverance to do something about it. That's a good leader. A good leader remains positive no matter what, and just always sees, as someone once said, never let a good crisis go to waste. Think about that cliche. It's a great cliche. Never let a good crisis go to waste. Take advantage. Anyways, okay. Barack, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Good man. Why don't you read your notes to us, and we're going to conclude. Okay, read what you put. And for those who've put their comments in the live chat and we don't have a time to get to it, the live chat with the links will be saved and will be made available to you as a PDF in the class folder on DC Connect. So everything here is saved for you later. Okay, but Barack, could you start with the assessment, the good notes you made there, and then continue on? Please go ahead and read them out loud.
So we will do 4 reflections, no exams, no quizzes, just only reflections. The first one is worth 15% of our overall marks, and it starts today. If you look at your DC Connect, you can see it, the Dropbox for it. The second reflection worth 25, the third one is 25, and the fourth and the last one is 35%. Well, the last one is the big one, so gradually we will write longer reflections, and it will get much harder and harder to keep it together, because it's going to be, the last one is going to be almost 1,400 to 1,500 words.
Yeah.
The presentation can be made with videos, but the last one, the first 3 of the reflections, are only written ones. What we know about the first reflection is, 1, it will be written, no videos. That we talked about this. Second is, it will be approximately 400 words minimum, but I don't know, maybe it can be different. Maybe I just noted that wrong, but
yeah,
approximately 400 words, I think. Well, the third one is no works cited. It will solely rely on your personal experience throughout the class, what you know, what you get from the classes, what stuck with you the most until that point. Your reflection about the class will be the point. And don't forget, less is more. That's all I noted.
Okay, I'm going to stop you, Barack. I want to remind all of you, you just heard from a human being who processed it through his brain, not an AI or a bot who was telling us this. Now,
I tried to be formal.
well, no, one of the things we're going to talk about, through the semesters, particularly with your assignments, is the role of AI and artificial intelligence and how you use these powerful machines to assist you. And I'd like to just remind you that Barack just told us this, not because he went to OpenAI and had OpenAI spit out something back to him, but it came from Barack taking good notes and it going through his brain. Thank you, Barack, for that. And you're right. They're all good notes. It's all there for you, everyone, in the live chat and in the recording. I'm going to have to conclude because I have to get my voice ready for a 1:00 class. I want to thank you all, as always. It's a privilege to come into a learning community like this with all of you and do something valuable in education and teach each other. And next week, Ash is going to join us from Pakistan and do a full class on empowerment. And there are many more guests who will be coming through the semester. I'll tell you more about that in the coming classes. The recording will be available on DC Connect, just like last week with the notes in the live chat. And so I'm going to sign off. But before I do, is there anything anyone would like to say before we conclude the class?
Get well soon.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm well. I mean, I'm more or less well. I just can't spread it around, so that's why I'm stuck at home. And I could come in and teach behind a mask, but what will happen is when I'm giving the class, I eventually just rip the mask off, and then I start, infecting you all. So I can't do that. Anyways, okay. All right. Well, have a good week, everybody. And you can always reach me via my email, of course, for Mayreen and the Expo. And you can email her through the Global Class email that's there. Mayreen, is there anything we're missing? Anything you'd like to add before we conclude?
Lon, just wanted to give you an update, and I've put it in the live chat, but I did receive an email from the Japanese organization saying our proposal documents were received. So they received the PPT.
Great.
So we're good to go on that end.
Thanks a lot, Maybelline. Excellent. And don't forget about Agnes Chow, right? Inviting her as a guest.
Yes, I will do that.
Okay. By the way, I just want you to know we're hoping to get a great guest for our democracy class on global leadership. I'll just tell you briefly what we're hoping. Mayreen is working on it. 2024, as it turns out, is going to be a very important year for democracy in the world. There will be 40 national democratic elections taking place around the world, including in the United States, which will be absolutely historic when Donald Trump, if he gets elected as the Republican candidate for the Republican Party in the US, will go up against, again, Joe Biden for the American president. That's if Donald Trump is chosen as the candidate for the Republican Party, and it looks very much like he will. As a matter of fact, we are witnessing in the United States today a remarkable historic scene of a person who has just won an important state, Iowa, who have chosen him unanimously to be the Republican candidate by a huge margin, Donald Trump. And today, Donald Trump is in court again. In other words, we're watching unfold in the United States a candidate who is immensely popular, who also may be convicted of crimes and have to go to jail. This is an incredible time in the United States for democracy, but it's also all over the world. We're seeing democratic elections take place. And so we're hoping to have a guest this semester, a young woman from Hong Kong named Agnes Chow, who fought against the she stood up for democracy in Hong Kong against the attempt by the Chinese Communist Party to implement its regime in Hong Kong, which has a long history of democracy. And she was one of the many who protested in the streets to preserve Hong Kong's democratic future. And as a result, she faced the wrath and threats of the Communist Party, and she had to escape from Hong Kong, and she's now living in Toronto. Her name is Agnes Chow, and she's a remarkable young woman who has sacrificed a lot for the cause of democracy and freedom, and we're hoping that she will be our guest to tell us more about what freedom means to her and democracy in a world where you have to fight for it. Otherwise, you may lose your freedoms. This is a really important quality of leadership, having courage to stand up for liberty and human rights against oppression and authoritarianism and violence, which is what she did. And she's paying a price. She's living in exile as a young woman, far away from her home now in Toronto. So Maureen's going to be in touch with her, and we'll see if Agnes can join us. Great. So she will work on that. Thanks, Maureen. Talk to you soon. Everybody, we have to conclude. Have a great week and talk to you soon, okay? Take care.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Prof.
Take care and have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Bye.